Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the How to Carnivore podcast and YouTube series. Today, you're joined by myself, Simon Lewis, and we have a special guest, Andrew Potter, who has a pretty amazing story of his own carnivore journey. So, Andrew, welcome.
Thanks, Simon. Cheers, mate.
Thanks very much for joining. I've sort of been following Andrew on social media, a few messages back and forth, and I thought, given what I know sort of broadly of your carnivore journey, you've got something really special to share. So, Andrew, how and why did you get yourself into the carnivore diet?
How? I guess that was just listening to this very podcast, actually. Funnily enough, the first episode it was actually Plant Free MD episode 1, but it was with yourself. So yourself and Anthony Chaffee's podcast. And at first I thought you guys were crazy. I thought, what are they saying? This doesn't sound right at all. Like I've been kind of doing fitness training and fighting and different things over the last 10 years, and like I had a whole weight loss journey of my own, and it was totally contradictory to what I'd heard. But the more and more I listened, and the further research did on my own, I just thought this makes sense. I thought I'd just give it a go. So why was for to optimize my own health, help sort of stop the yo-yo weight gain, like gaining weight, then not gaining weight, like losing weight, to do with training. Like I found if I ever stopped training, I would start to gain weight. So I have to keep up, and training really hard 6 days a week. I wanted to sort of stabilize my weight, and also to just optimize my own health. Like my wife and I recently had our first baby. He's 11 months old now. I wanted to set a good example for him, but also the part of that journey, we had to go through the IVF process. And my wife used to suffer from polycystic ovary syndrome, but she managed to cure herself through diet and through iodine supplementation, of all things.
Mm-hmm.
She increased her iodine levels, and she's been cyst-free for a long time.
Fantastic.
But it wasn't actually her that was the problem with the fertility. It was from my side. So I wasn't given a explanation at all about my male infertility. So it was just we have no idea why. It's nothing you've done. It's probably genetic. So just sort of left it at that. So we've gone through a donor, which is fine. My son is awesome, but it's a lot of people do that process. But I just thought, well, if there's a way that I don't have to go through that process, I save all the money, save all the, my wife had to inject herself with all these things and go through these medical procedures and things. If we can maybe conceive naturally for our next child, that'd be even better. So that was another secondary reason. And just health optimization, weight stability, and just to kind of see how I felt as well. A bit of an experiment, I suppose. I'm always a bit of a, I like to go down rabbit holes and see how things work. So, yeah.
Hey guys, just want to take a second to thank our sponsor, Carnivore Bar. I don't promote many products because honestly, all you need to be healthy is just eat meat, and that's what you should do. But if you're hiking or road tripping or stuck at work and you want something nutritious that is just meat, fat, and possibly salt if you want it, the Carnivore Bar is a great option. I like this product not only because it is pure meat, but also because I really want the carnivore market to thrive as well. The more we support meat-only products, the more people will make meat-only products, and this will bring this into the mainstream. So if this sounds like something you'd like to check out, then take a look and use my discount code HTC to get 10% off, which also applies to subscriptions, giving you 25% off total. All right. Thanks, guys.
Good on you. Yeah, self-experimentation is the way to go. And if something piques your interest, there's one way to find out. Go and do it for yourself. It's brilliant that you gave it a go rather than sort of dismissing carnivore straight away. Andrew, I sort of want to focus a little bit on what life looked like before, in terms of sort of your weight and your overall health, how you felt, what you were eating, that sort of thing. What did life look like for you before carnivore?
Yeah, well, at one stage, I was really heavy. Many years ago, I'm not sure exactly how much I did weigh, because the scales that I would jump on, they'd always top out at 150, and I'd always just get an error message. So when I started...
How tall are you?
186 centimeters. So I said about
6'2"
6'1", 6'1", 6'2", something like that. Yeah, I've got some photos of what I used to look like if I can work out how to share my screen.
If you send them to me, I'll put them on later.
Yeah, I'll send you some pictures, and yeah, you can maybe edit them in with the magic of afterthought. But yeah, so I was really heavy. I don't know how much I used to weigh, at least 160 kilos. So I lost 10 centimeters of waistline before we got our first measurement of 146. So who knows what I did weigh. I just went on the kind of standard. I went to the gym. I got a personal trainer. You know, I just used to do things like kind of treadmill and just kind of really basic sort of fitness stuff, and follow the kind of standard sort of healthier version that we're told. So like the healthy diet, I guess, lots of salad, lots of chicken, all that sort of stuff. And I found I lost weight. You know, I lost weight because I was eating less processed food. I was drinking less, things like that. But if I stopped training, I would, you know, and I sort of still would have kind of treat meals and things, as we used to call it, you know, and go and have a treat day or whatever. I would still yo-yo my weight a lot. So yeah, it was always like a constant battle. This is about sort of 2011, 2012, and I you know, got down to about 100 kilos. Then I went off to the mines for a while, changed jobs. And just kind of, I don't know, like guys will tell you at the mines there, you go up there and you're away from everybody and stuff. And there's a buffet of cakes presented to you kind of thing every day, you know. There's good food options as well, but there's a lot of poor ones and a lot of drinking and things after hours. And I managed to creep up to 140 again after a while. It was probably about 2014, 2015, came back from the mines. Then I got into Muay Thai. I found a Muay Thai club locally where I was living. A friend of mine, I sort of started training a little bit there before I went to the mines, and I went away. And I came back, and my coach, he made me a challenge. He said, you know, Andy, you've put on weight again, you know. So if we can lose 20 kilos by Christmas time, this is probably like February, something like that. You lose 20 kilos and keep it off by Christmas time, the club will give you $50. If you can't, then you've got to pay the club $100. And I you know, really took it to heart, and I ended up losing the 20 kilos before Easter. and then so my coach just kept saying, "Oh, double or nothing, you know, just keep going." And so I just really dedicated myself to the training, and I did lose the weight. I actually, during that time, I actually tried a vegan diet for a while because a lot of people around me were vegan, and it was a very popular thing. So I gave that a go. I found again, you know, I did lose weight. I was training really, really hard, lots and lots of cardio. But I found when I had my bloods done, I was starting to become anemic. And I found it wasn't, you know, I was binging a lot on things like potato chips and, you know, because that's vegan. And, you know, I'd still have like cakes and things up the road. There's a bakery that has like vegan donuts, you know, you can have donuts on a vegan diet. And I was still, yeah, the weight was still, if I'd stopped training, I'd start putting on weight again because I still had this kind of, you know, mentality. Oh, you know, you can have a donut, it's all good. Yeah, so I went along. I managed to actually, so I went back to a kind of standard healthy sort of way of eating. I really got strict on my just my training. I managed to get down to 79 kilos and fight at 79 kilos. I had a few fights.
How'd you go? Any wins?
Yeah, had a few. Like I had a couple of fights on my way down to that weight. I actually fought at heavyweight, and I realised I wasn't a heavyweight. But when I actually got down to the weight where I was supposed to be, I had a good win. You know, I had a really good win at a local promotion. It was a really hard fight against another guy who'd lost a lot of weight as well. We had kind of similar stories, and yeah, it was a really close fight, but it was an amazing experience. Just the lead up to the fight, the weigh in, the whole atmosphere of the whole culture of martial arts is pretty incredible once you kind of dive in. But yeah, then I managed to injure my knee in 2019. This is, you know, sort of many years of fitness journey I'm going through. But 2019, I was getting ready for another fight. I was sparring and I got a little leg kick. It wasn't even a very hard leg kick, and we noticed my leg really buckled. And I hurt that left knee, a few times through the years. When I was heavy, I hurt it. One time getting out of a truck, I sort of really sprained it really badly and it swelled up. I had a few injuries kind of when I was starting to lose weight. And then this one leg really buckled. So we thought we better go get a scan. So I went and got an MRI, and it turned out there was no ACL there. There was none at all. So who knows how long that was the case for, but had the ACL reconstruction and meniscus work done in 2020. Then started another journey, I suppose, a rehab journey, where my weight was starting to come on again because I wasn't training. My rehab didn't go so well. I was saying to you before, because of COVID hit, I wasn't able to go to the hospital. I sort of wasn't ticking the boxes in the, I was in public public health system here in Australia, and I kind of wasn't ticking the boxes where I was meant to in certain goals, certain weeks, and I just kind of didn't know what to do. So after 12 months of sort of rehab, I suppose, sort of the best I could do, I had another scan on my knee, and they told me, you have the knee of an old man, stop work, stop physical training, stop, just sort of prepare for your eventual knee replacement, and that was pretty hard to hear. So I just did my own research. At first, I was a bit depressed about it for a few weeks, and then I went and started doing my own research, and found Knees Over Toes guy, as so many other folks have. Again, he's a bit of an alternative on the outside of things. He's saying things that I was told my whole fitness career for since 2011, the very first time I walked into a gym, like when we squat, we don't put our knees over our toes. You do not do that. Like you must get your back straight at all times, like all this kind of stuff. Like,
and also the sort of the process of really getting blood flow and working a joint or a tendon or a muscle that's sore and has an issue, as opposed to what you were recommended to do, which was just endless rest.
Yeah, which is totally against what I was told. This whole idea is foreign to most physios and trainers, unfortunately, which is what I found. I showed the physio that I was working with, this Knees Over Toes guy, and he was horrified. He was like, "No, you can't do this. Like this, I don't recommend this at all." But I thought, well, what's happening is I'm going backwards anyway. My knee was clicking and swelling up, and it wasn't strong at all, making horrible noises, like crunching noises. I just started from the very bottom, with as much assistance as I needed, and I just did Ben Patrick's Zero program for almost a year before I managed to progress to dense. And I'm one of his many success stories, I suppose. I'm working again, I'm able to train again, I'm able to do squats, I'm able to do things that the surgeon told me I couldn't.
That's fantastic. Well done.
Thanks, Simon. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. But and then this kind of leads into Carnivore, I suppose. October last year is when I dived in, and I was researching it a few months before that. It was just sort of after my son was born. I was just interested in nutrition, I suppose. I was listening to the Sailor series on Spotify, and for some reason the algorithm decided that plant-free MD would be something I'd like to listen to. So
they were
started listening away, and on the very first episode heard your voice as well. And at first I thought these guys are mad. What's all this about? But the more I listened, and the more I thought, no, this actually sounds really logical. And I'm sort of the person who likes to just kind of dive in, I suppose. I know there's some folks in the community that think you should transition on a more sensible way, but I just, the first week of October last year decided let's have a go. At first, I just dived straight in.
So Andrew, where were you at in October of last year? Was the weight back on? How was the health overall?
Well, I was starting to creep up again. I was up to about 100 kilos. I was kind of doing the Knees Over Toes training as best I could, but my diet was sort of catch up to me. I suppose there's that saying, you can't out-train a bad diet, and I suppose it is true. If you eat rubbish food, it's gonna creep up. You're either gonna be like metabolically worse off, or it's going to start to show. And I'm the sort of person that, if I look at a donut, I start to, I put on 100 grams. That's the way my body works. It was starting to creep up. It was about sort of 100, 105. I was trying to get back into training some more. So a few things kind of happened at once. There was Carnivore diet, joining, seeing Keegan Smith on Instagram, joining his group. He really encouraged me to start becoming more than just the ACL recovery guy. Like I was stuck just doing really gentle exercises. He's like, look, if you're not in pain, let's start to push things again. He really encouraged me to do that and do it without pain. He showed me some movements to do with the group. It was, just a little stepping stone, a little push I kind of needed to start again. I started doing weighted squats. It's quite a terrifying experience. The first time I thought, is this my knee going to explode? But it didn't explode, and I just started feeling stronger. But yeah, so since starting Carnivore, when I first started, a few weeks in, my body did kind of react a little bit because I'd spent my whole life, eating a lot of sugar and eating a lot of carbs and things. My tonsils sort of flared up a little bit. I had a bit of a sort of flu-like symptom, but my wife, who is stuck by me the whole way through this whole journey, she's known many different versions of Andrew over the years. She was looking at the YouTube channels as well, and she was watching a lot of Bella, the steak and butter girl.
It was fantastic, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And she saw something about, I think her husband was transitioning as well and having some problems, and she just made him this big bone broth, beef broth type soup, and it helped him a lot. So she did the same thing for me, and I ate that for just a few days, and it really helped. Really got rid of the tonsils, flared up, and my body started to transition. And I haven't looked back. I feel better now. I'm able to train harder now, almost as hard now as when I was fighting. That's the thing. The fatigue when I train is different. I don't feel as sore. I feel barely any soreness at all after the biggest sessions that I can do. When I do train Muay Thai and do hard cardio, I find I don't run out of gas like I used to. It's quite amazing. Like, I haven't done a lot of cardio the last few years, like because of my knee, but I'm still able to keep up with the fighters in my class, in my club. Still able to keep up with the more experienced folks that are still training there. Lots of things have improved, just from diet. Yeah.
You mentioned in your messages to me about mental health. How have you received any benefits from Carnivore?
Quite a bit, yeah. I used to be very up and down. My mood was very up and down. I would sort of, comfort eat a lot. That was part of my issues. And yeah, I find it's changed my whole relationship with food, and it's just stabilized everything. I don't have those sort of peaks and troughs. I still have times when, do you get a bit anxious or a bit sort of angry at something or a bit grumpy, but it's not like it used to be. And I'm able to stabilize myself a lot quicker, I've noticed. I'm sure my wife would agree, which is a good thing. I've definitely noticed a difference there. And mental clarity as well. I wake up quite alert. I don't seem to have that kind of 3 o'clock crash that I was used to, or I'd be looking for, maybe looking for something sweet or looking for an extra coffee or something, my energy levels are very, very sort of stable, and mentally, I think it's improved a lot as well.
I'm glad to hear. And you said that you've got your son on Carnivore, who's 11 months old.
Yeah, well, I sort of dived into everything, and he loves his bacon. He's got his top and bottom front teeth, and he's got more teeth coming in. And he loves his meat. He does eat a little bit of fruit. My wife still eats a little bit of fruit with her diet, but he's 90% carnivore, and he's seen the doctor recently, and he's ticking all the boxes as far as his age goes. And she said he was a very alert, very bright little boy who's doing really well. So I can't ask for more than that, really.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I think you're giving him a real gift, focusing on nutrition from day dot. With his development, whether he maintains it into his adolescence and then as an adult, that's his call. But I think you're doing the best thing that you know how to do, which is give them the full nutrition and nothing that can kind of drag them down.
Yeah, well, that's what I hope to do. I hope to be able to show him how to train, without injuring himself, and also how to eat, and give himself the best chance. And like you said, like once he gets older, I can't control what he does, and that's fine. I'm not going to be this military dad that says, no, you have to do this. But I'm just going to show him as best I can, and just try to educate him. And if he wants to eat something else, I'll ask him, well, how do you feel? It's going to be it's going to be interesting. But So that's going to be challenging as he gets older. But we hope to have a few more kids as well. So this would be a whole carnivore tribe. My wife has benefited a lot. Just to segue a bit, like she was overweight as well for most of her life. I'll send you some pictures of her before and afters too. And she saw how I was doing, and they thought, okay, well, I'm going to give this a go. She listened to, she listens more to sort of like Sean Baker and Ken Berry. They're her two sort of favorite. I see her watching on YouTube all the time.
Well, they're great. I mean, that's fantastic.
Well, that's it. They're still part of the same sphere, and I enjoy watching them as well. But she sort of transitioned a lot more sensibly. I think we watched a thing by Professor Bart Kay about transitioning slower and how that can benefit. And also, we were worried because she's breastfeeding, so we didn't want to shock her body, and it's for her to like lose her milk or something. Who knows? So she transitioned a lot slower. She spent probably 6 to 8 weeks kind of slowly transitioning, and now apart from maybe having some berries or something once a week, she's fully carnivore as well, and she's lost 35 kilos.
Wow, that's awesome.
100 kilos almost she was basically all the time. So now she's in her 70s, almost 60 kilos. So she's looking better than ever, which is really good, and feeling really great too. Her energy levels are right up there. And I just think if it's been a real gift actually, to my family, this diet, this way of eating. And it really is a way of life, I suppose, once you start realizing how beneficial it is, and then sort of looking around. It's only thing is the social side of things, but then you do get over that. So
yeah, you do get over it. You move on in terms of the transition. I know that some people recommend a sort of steady phase by phase transition into doing carnivore. When Dr. Chafee and I run our 30-day challenge, we get people to just flick the switch and go straight into strict carnivore. And sure, people sort of in the first or the second week, they are feeling a bit tired and lethargic as their body, gets rid of all the sugar and caffeine, and they start to learn to use fat for energy. But we've never had anyone have any major issues. And the added benefit of going fully strict is that there's not that sort of one or two potato chips that then leads to a whole packet. People make like that full transition into proper strict carnivore. So that is the way that we recommend it. But horses for courses. You can ease into it if you want to do your own thing.
Yeah, I'm the sort of all or nothing type. I'm the guy that I can't eat one or two potato chips or one lolly. I can't do that. That's you don't get to 160 kilos by eating one potato chip at a time. But my wife's a lot better at it. Like I think her weight was a lot to do with hormone imbalances and things like that. And she's able to eat. She's able to have a block of chocolate and it lasts for like 2 weeks. I don't know how she can do it, but she was able to transition a lot better. A lot in that slow sort of way. But I just sort of dived in. I just thought I have to go all or nothing, because usually it's all the wrong way, or I go all this right way, and I'm just sort of stick really strict to it. So I started off just with kind of 3 meals a day, just eating until I was full, I suppose. I just started off with that to let my body kind of because that's what I was used to, eating 3 meals a day. So I did a lot of eggs, a lot of, I just sort of do Ken Berry's thing, the beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. So I just sort of stuck to that. And I find that those are the foods that do make me feel best. Slowly I found that I needed to eat less. That's one thing I'm doing at the moment. I'm down to 1 meal a day most days. Sometimes if I'm in a really big patch of training, I might have a second meal, like a smaller meal around midday. But I find I wake up, I'm not like ravenously hungry like I used to be in the old way of eating, I find. I'm sort of starting to experiment with intermittent fasting as well. Like my body has a lot of loose skin around it from being so heavy my whole life. And I'm trying to sort of lose that. And I'm finding it is starting to go more so in the last, since October last year, since I started this diet, than it has in the other 10 years of training. So there's definitely something to this autophagy business that they talk about.
Nice. So ongoing, you're sort of planning to do what, OMAD or something close to that?
Yeah. Well, I feel good with OMAD. I'd like to try maybe a longer fast just to see how it feels. But
have you done a fast before?
No, not really. It's always been,
Neither have I.
not really a long fast or anything. OMAD's been a good thing. I find, you have your stomach rumbles a bit during the day sometimes, but then it goes away. And I find I have like a burst of energy after that.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a mental discipline thing as well, I suppose. And that's kind of what I need a bit more. So around food, like not letting the food control me, where I control the food and when I consume it. Yeah, no, it's definitely so. I've been following Jordan Potts a lot on Instagram, and he's a bit of a
Great guy.
another carnivore guru, and he's right into fasting and different things like that. So, yeah, I'll let you know how I go.
Yeah, nice. Andrew, have you had any bloods done, or have you measured your testosterone or anything like that?
I haven't measured my testosterone. I'm due for a full blood panel. I think that's something I need to do.
Yeah, I'd be curious.
One thing that I did discover, like when I started a new job, around Christmas time, I was working for local government in a parks and gardens team, and I had a health check, and I was quite astounded by how behind all the checks that they were doing. But they gave me a cholesterol check, and they kind of freaked out. There was a really basic kind of cholesterol measurement machine that I maxed out. I maxed out the machine, and then so they just got really scared, and they sent me off. I got a blood test in my local GP, and my LDL cholesterol is quite high at the moment. But my triglycerides and HDL are in really good ranges. I've consulted with. I got a bit concerned, and I actually private messaged Dr. Chafee, and I also had a consult with Bart Kay with my numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
my wife was quite concerned as well, and both of them said, "No, these numbers are perfect. Like, there's no worries at all." So that was a relief. But yeah, my GP though was recommending straight away I go on statins or some kind of medication. I need to start eating veggies again. This animal-based diet is basically going to give you a heart attack or a stroke or something. And yeah, so she's no longer my GP, unfortunately. But yeah.
Maybe fortunately, mate. I think that's for the best.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, Andrew, thank you so much for coming on the pod. I really appreciate hearing your story, and mate, I'm stoked for you. You look healthy. I watch your training on Instagram. It sounds like you're getting a lot out of life, and you're a really good role model for both your wife and your son. So you should be super proud of yourself.
Thanks, Simon. I really appreciate that, and thanks for having me on and letting me tell my story and listening to me. I listen to you guys just about every day, so yeah, I do appreciate it. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.